The reality is, the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. Every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
Risk must be taken for the greatest. Hazard in life is to risk nothing.
Take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
I think that most people, the reason that they lack success in their life is that they lack the courage to make the decisions that need to be made to put them in the position that they want to be in.
You can get so scared, and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking, in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
All right. Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the channel. Happy Sunday. It's fasting day. Every Sunday, I'm going to dedicate a fast on a Sunday. So I feel sharp this morning, right? When you go hours without eating, I drink unsweetened tea and just water and no food, right? Nothing until tomorrow morning. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna get all these. When I wake up, I'm gonna have a basket of fruit, and I'm gonna eat at least like a banana, some oranges, and get all the vitamins I need to feel better. But staying hydrated. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. Don't forget, if you're watching on Kick, well, the only way you're gonna get to Kick is in the description of YouTube, guys. I got a link to Kick. You actually have to sign up over there to view and do all that good stuff. Follow me there. Also we're on X, aka Freedom of Speech platform. Links in the description as well. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. All right. You need to pound that like button. You gotta pound the like button. Pound the like button. What's the longest you fasted? I think it was like 36, 40 hours, 40 plus hours or something like that. I felt really good on that one, right? But then I was just like starving. Like, you go after you do a full day, the next day you're not too hungry. And then like you get a little bit deeper, then you get hungry, then you're not hungry. It's just, if you stay hydrated, you have your unsweetened tea, you'll be good. So support the channel, guys, by pounding the like button, retweeting this live stream, get everybody out there, situated, let them know we're here. Also, shout out to all the members. We got DeFi D right here. He's a member of the members only content over on YouTube. And, we're going to be talking about the PulseChain bottom incoming, right? Full market meltdown right now. What's going on? But hear me out. All right, before we get into, what would be negative sentiment of the overall market, all right, being this heavy in the red right now, not only in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and PulseChain, but, overall, we were prepared, all right? And for $2.99 a month, the price of a Cambodian coffee, right? Some of you buy coffee every day, $10 at your Starbucks. You get a little bit of insight from me, a little bit of extra content weekly, where I've been preparing, the R2R soldiers, that this time frame was going to be taking place, where the bottom was going to be happening in late June. And I keep talking about this window of opportunity. Now, I've been saying this for months, guys, since we hit the last previous top in PulseChain and started to trend down. And then even when we're going back up, I'm getting my people mentally ready to say, don't go out there. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to crypto. You could lose it all. You got to do your research. But while other influencers and people that follow them were throwing rocks at me, calling me names because I was being bearish, there's a difference between being bearish and having price targets of even a cryptocurrency or blockchain that you love, like I love PulseChain, there's a difference between being bearish and targeting these bottoms and understanding that they're going to come, all right? Because I've seen it all. And here we are, after the dust has settled, exactly what I've been preparing people for, of, hey, don't have any fear of selling that top. Influencers are going to tell you, oh, you're going to regret it. Green candles are coming. You got to shut that down and realize the cycle that we're in has changed and you must adapt. And I've adapted, and I've tried to help many of you adapt to that as well. So now we're here as predicted, as I've been preaching. Now we have that window of opportunity where I keep mentioning on the 4th of July, when we're celebrating America, right? I want my guys to be there, chilling back with their family, having a good time, barbecuing, eating good food, drinking, partying, whatever it may be, and know that this window of opportunity that we're in right now, all the way to early July, it's going to be a good time to catch these dips. All right. Take a look at the chat real good. What's good, big dog? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. PTGC Maxi, you are a prophet. You called another dump. Yeah, nobody wants a dump to happen because they're fearful of losing, right? But if you're long term, all right, and you want to get maximum gains, and you do have the dry powder, you either exit at the top and wait to buy, or you have that dry powder to dollars cost average, right? Feels like a dollar cost Rekt, a DCR, as these dips take place. And sure enough, some big events took place. All right. But before we get into that, guys, remember, links in the description to become a member, $2.99 a month. I mean, it ain't nothing. That ain't asking for much if you want to get some extra content and be in tune with somebody who's seen it all. Let's move over really quick though to our sponsor of the R2R live streams. Big shout out to DexFi.com/bonds. Listen, guys, it's an easy button now. The easy button yield farming. They've paid out $27,106 in USDC to their treasury bond mint bond holders, all right, who have minted these NFTs. There's been a total, and this is over on BaseChain, about $842,764.99. Don't forget the 99 cents of Ethereum used over on BaseChain to mint your NFT bonds, where you can own a share of their DexFi treasury investing in bonds, where they put the money to work. They have strategies. You sit back and you collect passive income in USDC. APR right now, which fluctuates, is 114.51%. So we watched this pool of money go in and grow from $130,000 when they first said, hey, we're going to sponsor the channel. I was very grateful. And now we're here, and they're going to make it to $1 million plus. The more money that goes in, the more money that could be put into the treasury bond with their strategic plan to increase, the amount of money that gets paid out to users. And then top of that, right now, on a dip like this, when you get into a platform, I want to mention that even with the dip, the overall fund is holding up incredibly well. And people buying into this now will have incredible upside potential when ETH and other LPs recover on top of the yield. So keep that in mind. Shout out to DexFi.com/bonds, the official sponsor of the R2R live streams at this time. And let's go take a look. Let's go take a look at the alpha male Bitcoin. $99,000. Look at that. Shoo. Jeez, $99,543. Wow. 55% drop on Bitcoin from all-time high in bull market till November week 2. 55% drop on Bitcoin from all-time high in bull market till November week 2. So the $112,000 Bitcoin, you're saying that it would drop roughly to 55K and then go on into a bull market until week 2 of November 2025. Interesting prediction. If you're in PulseChain, right, you're heavily focused on Ethereum. Oh my gosh, 2,186. I mean, Ethereum it could be worse. It could be worse, right? It could definitely be worse. And I think it will get worse. And this, okay, I believe the bottom is forming for PulseChain, especially. PulseChain front runs the movements of dumps and pumps. So PulseChain is closer to the bottom than anything else, I think, in all of crypto. But let's take a look at and man, the stock market, is it going to crash tomorrow? I feel like the stock market is going to take a hit tomorrow, and gold is going to be like, pew, right? As Bitcoin goes down, all the money people hedge their wealth basically in commodities. What's going to change? Everybody goes into gold, right? That Saudi money drops the big dime, drops the big bag into gold. And it's interesting to see. Michael's saying ETH is going to $980. Guys, I've been telling you guys this range. Like, I've been saying 500 to 750, but that might be a little aggressive. That 980, I like that call. A lot, actually. 62% drop from all-time high in ETH and bull market. We have similar targets. That's very interesting. It's very interesting because I have not got a lot of people that have come onto my stream as I talk about these types of targets and be in line that close with what I've been saying. But heading to the mainstream media news, right? And take a look at that. Yeah, bro, I hear you. I feel you. So Iran, hey, they got dropped that big. I think they dropped 30,000 ton bombs from 40,000 feet in the air. Something like that. Something ridiculous like that. Oh, snacks. Hey, Psycho Crypto 23 markets have been rough. Appreciate the content. Hey, I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate you dropping the super chat. Thank you very much, bro. You already know. Let's hit it with the Carlton. I appreciate you, bro. So anyways, Michael says ignore the media. No. I don't ignore the media. I don't believe a thing they say. However, I keep it close in my back pocket because I want to understand where the sentiment, right, comes from and where the directions of the average investor is going to be, right? Right now, the media is going to be the fear, the outlet of fear. Right? The media is going to be targeting Trump's move. The news is going to be on him about was this good for America. The Democrats are going to run, like they're going to take this and they're going to try to run it up the field as hard as they can, all the way to the end zone, right? And that target is impeachment. That target is lower approval ratings because it's all political. But whether it's good for the U.S., whether it's good for the world or not, in these moments, the media outlets, I pay attention to them because I know that they're going to create the fear that I'm going to invest in. And they're going to create these dips that I've been predicting. So the panic aspect of what they bring to the table has always made me money. The life-changing opportunity was COVID. We talk about COVID because they were like, people are dying. Well, it's interesting on how they were pushing, like, it made me feel like everybody who got COVID was going to die. And then you got COVID. I remember I got COVID. All I had was a headache. I didn't have a fever. I didn't have a cough, right? I didn't even have a shot at that time. None of the boosters, none of that. I don't even think it was around. However, that opportunity of fear that they created in the news outlets gave me an opportunity of a lifetime, not only to buy Hex, not only to buy Ethereum and Bitcoin on those dips, and I had already been in early $200 Bitcoin, $7 Ethereum, but it gave me an opportunity after selling the previous all-time highs to buy a life-changing opportunity with the fear that they create. So what twist are we going to see tomorrow that could create further dips that are going to align with my targets? Regardless of the media doing that, these targets were destined to happen anyways, based off measuring from the top of previous all-time highs and how the market's correct. These are just going to, be the icing on the icing on the cake, the cherry on top on what's to come. So I think, you're going to see CNN. I think you're going to see CS and all the media networks, right? Creating fear of escalation, right? Making it seem like Iran is going to do something horrible to us. Then you're going to have North Korea, China attacking Taiwan, Russia wanting to get involved. There's going to be these different highlights that they point out that are going to affect our markets, ultimately affecting the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum, which leads and trickles down all the way to PulseChain. And PulseChain right now, that bottom, like I've been saying, is going to be touched again. It's going to be touched again. And it's going to be one of those things where it can happen in a New York minute. It can come and go. It can last for an hour. It can last for a day. I feel like when these moments come, they're pretty quick, especially because people are running bots that are front running, buying these dips. But let's go take a look at Pulse right now, and we'll look at the last time Pulse had its absolute look where we're at right now. This is like the SEC FUD, right? Not the FUD, because it's not. I don't even want to call it FUD, but the SEC dropped news that they're going after Richard Hart and Texas Security, PulseChain, the SAC funds, blah blah blah. We had this gnarly dip, but the one that lost the hardest is PulseX, right? And we go look at that, right when they dropped the news and the bomb that, hey, we're coming at you, RH. And we dipped all the way down to here. I think history repeats itself and we could touch that. Now, if we don't, that's fine. Where we're at, 4 zeros and a 1-8, we're pretty close. It's not too much of a drastic move to go from there when Bitcoin and Ethereum can keep taking a hit, with the media taking a swing at what's going on. It's opportunity. They're like black bears. What do they call them? Opportunistic carnivores. I forget what they say about the black bears, but they'll come out at night and raid your campsite when you're asleep. Go eat all your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Take all your stuff. That's how they roll. And the media is going to take a swing at this full blown. For one, Trump has not been liked for a long time. Anything they could do to make him look like this evil being, racist, whatever you want to call it, it's all out there. The opportunity to jump on this decision, right? It's brewing. And I think what was it? Was it Schumer that came out yesterday? Let's go take a look. I'm gonna bring that up because Chuck Schumer, right? Chuck Schumer on Iran. I thought it was interesting, and I haven't been watching. But take a look at this. More drama coming. Schumer calls for immediate vote on War Powers Act to involve Congress and President's Iran decisions. He's pissed that this didn't go through, Congress. He's so mad. He feels like Trump has to answer to this. No president should be allowed to unilaterally march this nation into something that has consequential at war. Let's see. What's going on? Did that page just freeze? Looks like that page froze. We'll bring this page back up. Anyways. Boom, there we go. Because I guess when we found out, Humor did too. Oh man. ETH will drop, taking Pulse down. Yeah, it's the leverage for sure. More red. D5. ETH falling. What makes you think it's good to buy Pulse? I don't think it's good to buy Pulse all at once. You buy the dip. That's why the name is bottom incoming. So you wait for these opportunities. You wait for things to continue to unfold. You watch closely Ethereum and Bitcoin, because obviously the alpha male is Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes down, ETH goes down, Pulse goes down. So if there's more to come, if there's more pain to come, the better to buy an opportunity. However, Pulse has an element of manipulation where Richard will probably, and the only time I ever see Richard get involved is to save the chart. Historically, he has come in to save the charts from going below the points that it's gone, because it should have gone lower. Okay, when those SAC funds came in early 2024, February, March of 2024, he came in to save the chart with sacrifice money, and it gave everybody hope, like, hey, he's going to come do that one day. And those funds are now depleted, like by far much lower than it was back when he did that. All right, so he has been like Captain Save-A-Ho with these ETH funds. Down 41.91% though at this point, average sale price of $373. So incoming, yeah. Right now, I'm comfortable buying Pulse a little bit today. Like I told you guys an example in my members only video. Let's say I have 10 grand. You know, we have a dip right now. Put a G, right? Put a G into the dip. Dips more. Let's say it goes 25% more, which is very likely. Put another 500. A dollar cost average of wherever I could buy. I'll be comfortable at these levels from where it could and where I think it will eventually bounce, right? Can't target the market completely perfect, picture perfect. You buy the bottom, and you get away with that because you were there in that moment. And if you're someone like me, you caught that very, like the last absolute bottom I bought was on PulseX and Pulse. I bought the actual bottoms right after the SEC, came out and created these red candles from wanting to go after Richard Hartwich, who he beat. But everyone thought that because he beat the SEC in court that we were going to go on these God candles. That goes against everything that is truly going to happen in these market conditions and where the chart points at where it was going to go. You can't just have news like that and have a sustainable trajectory of going up, right? It defeats all TA, technical analysis, CA, Chinese analysis. Remember, you got to watch the China markets and everything that's going on over there. If you remember us covering that the other day when we watched the Tone Base versus Richard Hart. So, time in the market's going to be difficult. For me, it's like I got kids, got a family, go a little bit more. I'll be busy. I'll buy 500, 1,000. If we get to, the previous all-time low, great. If I can catch it, if not, it can happen and stay like that for a day. It can stay like that for a moment. We'll see what the market gives us, right? There could be, right, an event that takes place that we transition into total peace. So let's say in a perfect universe, Iran is like, Trump wants Iran to be basically to back down, to say, you know what, we don't have a fighting chance. It's time to make peace. They seem angry. They don't seem like they're going to do what he wants them to do. So he's already hinted, like, we will continue to attack. Now, when we continue to attack, what I think is the possibility of bringing the markets down further is escalation. So what do I mean by escalation? Well, there could be other countries that want to get involved. Now, I've heard that China and Russia have already backed down from supporting Iran the moment they realized that the bombers were sending the missiles and were in progress. That I don't know if it's entirely true. But when something like this happens, and world wars are on the breach of happening, like in World War III, there's going to be countries that take advantage of the opportunity while one thing is being focused on. So one thing I'm going to be looking for in the media outlets to throw out there is China taking advantage of the moment and trying to seize, the opportunity to go after Taiwan. Then you got Kim over in North Korea, who's always talking mess, who's always been an issue with his mouth and his warnings and just who he is and how he operates in that country. He's a sick person, all right. But then you got Russia and Ukraine. You got a lot of things on the table right now that could start to take a massive swing in a direction of starting a domino effect around the world. And then you have World War III. So yeah, war is profitable and ultimately will help cryptocurrency go up. But in the meantime, when the news breaks and things actually take place, it's going to create an environment of fear and you're going to get some dips, right? There is no bottom, bro, because there are 0 forward moving events, 1 bridge to get onto the chain and 0 sex listings for grandma to buy. There are ever any green sack bag candles? There are no bottom, bro, because there are 0 forward moving events. 1 bridge to get onto the chain, 0. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about there's not sex listings, they're not this and that, new users. Yeah, we've heard all that. But when you look at technical analysis, Chinese analysis, you look at the chart, there's people that are interested in buying the bottoms. So you can have that argument, which I've argued too, like there's not enough new users to sustain pumps. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But there's enough people that are going to buy the dips, that are going to create the bottoms, and then movement will go up. The thing about what you're saying is why I don't think that when PulseChain makes a move, and let's say it does go to sack price, because the overall markets start to go into a bull market, that is my cue to get out, right? So if we're 2 to 3x above sack price, take the money off the table, see what happens. And what I think what will happen is people will exit, and then we'll go into a bear market like we usually do, and PulseChain will suffer the consequences later of not being able to sustain a good solid floor because, yeah, there's no users on a daily. There's not a lot of new users. There's only 1 bridge. But in between now and then, a lot can change, right? So then your sex listing argument disappears if they get listed, okay? Now, what's keeping them from being listed at this point? Well, it's definitely not a lingering SEC case, all right? Definitely not that, okay? So we'll see. We'll see if all that comes to surface. But it's definitely no longer one of those things where you're like, it's never going to happen, because the biggest excuse was, hey, who wants to list an entire blockchain of tokens that are, the founders under scrutiny for being charged against the SEC? Well, we beat them. So what's the next hurdle? Okay, he's on a most wanted list. All right, let's say he goes to jail or he beats that. Okay, then you're done with that. It really eliminates it once he either goes to jail for that or pays his taxes. He's no longer on the list. We saw CZ go to prison. Then Binance Smart Chain fail because of that. At this point, Richard's already told us it's on us to market. You can't depend on the sacrifice funds. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about Richard. It's really on us. DeFi Garden, there's multiple ways to get on chain, not just 1 bridge. Yeah, there is actual multiple ways. You can even get on chain through Change Now. There's a lot of ways to do it. Most people aren't really fine-tuned into those different ways too. There's a lot of good, easy on-ramps right now. I just don't use them. I don't use them. I haven't used them. I haven't had a need, but it's there. You just need new users for people to use it, right? And I think for me personally, I know and believe that it has product market fit. Even PDI does, has a community of people that are willing to buy it and back it. That's all you need in crypto. Well, let's go look at this tweet too as well that I did the other day, right? About selling 90%, because people are very angry right now because they're either down 90% or they sold. So they're very disgruntled. But most of them have never made it in crypto. So you never sat through a mega dip. I made a lot of money in crypto buying $200 Ethereum, $700 Ethereum, $200 Bitcoin, right? And I rode that to $20,000 Bitcoin, sold a small amount, and then it dipped to $3,000 from $20,000. But I held, and then it went to $65,000. Like a lot of the schmucks would have been like, "Oh my God, I bought at $3,000, it went to $20,000, or I bought at $15,000, and then it went to $20,000. I didn't sell, now it's $3,000, and they sell at $3,000 for a loss. Or if they would have held, they could have got it above $60,000 to sell and been up mega, because they're angry and disgruntled, and they have no other energy about them but just being negative and just saying, all right, I'm gonna bash this, I hate it, I lost money. Sorry, but if you bought it 10,000, 15,000, you didn't sell it when it hit 19, 20, but then you sold at 3,000, and then you had to watch it go to 60,000 plus. Whose fault is that? But let's watch this clip right here, because it's a true story on how people mess up, right? And it's sad, but here's the reality. Let's watch this right now.
Now 90-something%.
No, I bought the top. I bought it at 30. So you bought down to 2. I got wrecked 93%. But
so why did you stick? Why did you stick with Bitcoin if you kind of got wrecked?
It didn't matter. I just so rich. I don't give a shit. Like it's when you have that much money, you don't care. And what am I going to sell it down 95%? Why don't I just hold it? The people that sell money,
there's no point.
The only time there's a point is when you buy something really weird. So like if you bought Luna and it has like a death spiral function built in, that the lower the price goes, the higher the supply goes, then you have compounding death. You have death squared. You have price went down, plus there's more supply, plus price goes down more, plus the death spiral coins are weird and they suck. So like rebasing coins and Luna are two examples of like you would have been smart to sell 95% down.
Yeah.
But most coins, like, you know, if you sold Dogecoin 95% down, you screwed up usually. It usually goes back up at some point. Don't know why. It's terrible technology, but it's got a following. It's got product market fit. It does go up sometimes. You know, like Ethereum went down 95% from 14K to 88, and then it went up to 5K. There was people that sold that. People sold that.
Yeah.
And
people sold
the
top.
Every buyer's got a seller. Every seller's got a buyer. And you know, there's people that have sold the bottom. If you've got a coin that really has product market fit, I think you're stupid to sell a 95% dip. But look, there's coins that won't get back up. You know, there are rug pulls, there are scams, there are things that are bankrupt. So
yeah,
it's buying dips isn't a guarantee. You have to have product market fit. So like in Hex, I see, are we on ramping new users? Is the average stake length going up in time? Are we appealing to different verticals? You know, it is the infrastructure getting better? There's so many good things going on that I'm extremely happy. Like, yeah, I'm the guy that tells you crypto dips 85 to 95%. Yes, it did. Hex went up 30x the first dip, and then it dumped with the market the second dip. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, hopefully we decorrelate. We might be decorrelated now.
That's interesting because I go back now to DeFi Gardener's post, and now you got to really think about it. By the way, guys, show some damn not respect. Show some support. My gosh, we got 26 people watching on YouTube, only 10 likes. Come on, pound the like button. 58 people on Twitter. We don't got enough likes. We don't got enough retweets on Twitter either. So show some love. But back to his comment, right, about product market fit. Like when Doge dropped 95%, 90%, which it did a lot of times, and then it recovered, right? You did yourself a disservice selling that dip and it went back up, right? But did Doge have any forward moving events? It's basically dog shit tech. Was made to be a joke, but it's product market fit, a community and backing the people that actually buy it, right? And that's the interesting thing is people think like when the bottoms are here, you come up with every single like excuse or reason, excuses and reasons, they're both can go into the same pot of why you don't believe it's going up, and then you sell and it goes up without you. That happens with every token that does have product market fit versus what he talked about here. Buying the dip doesn't always work out when you buy Luna. But guess what? Luna was an algorithmic stable token that was destined to do what it did, fail and collapse, which Richard Hart warned you about. So you got to look back and go, hey, how many tokens have gone in these types of dip, have product market fit, it was really fulfilling to have it, and then go back up without you after you sold it. Time and time and time again, it's going to happen. But I think people will continue to still have the same habits of doing that over and over without actually learning anything, and it won't matter. And that's why you don't listen to influencers, even like myself. Do your own research, because it can work both ways. Sometimes they're way over bullish or they're not bearish enough. And the reason why I don't mingle with a lot of the Hex people out there is because during the times where I was like, dude, we're going to be where we're at today, they were like crazy bullish. And I'm like, a dip's coming, bro. But let's hear, because let's get an example of influencers or in people. And I know DeFi Gardner, you're influencer out there too as well. So you'll know this, and you've been in a lot of stuff that failed. And I know you have, and so have I. But when something has like true unique product market fit, like an entire blockchain, right? And the actual supply is controlled like it was Hex, like you can't count it out. And nothing operates like that, even Doge, that has really just a community backing. It's a meme. So anything can happen in crypto. But listen to this when it comes to influencers. And this is where you need to be. When it comes to me or any influencer out there that wants to give their opinion, watch this video, okay? Then go do your research and form your own opinion. But watch this, okay?
Well, I mean, I have a unique perspective on this. I think most people in the cryptocurrency community are a bunch of cocksuckers. They're really fucking terrible. They're not funny. They're not nice. They're not social. They're fucking pricks. The majority probably of people in cryptocurrency. And I'll tell you how you discover this. All these motherfuckers, all of them. So unless you write code in crypto, you're kind of a bitch, first of all, okay? Because you're standing on the backs of all the people that worked for free to give you something to play with. So the real heroes of cryptocurrency are developers. The core devs are awesome. And every honest coin. Those are the guys that really matter. And then who else do you got? You got the guys that scream and yell and try and onboard users. Okay, they have utility. And then you guys got the guys that build infrastructure, right? Like maybe the exchanges, phone wallets, stuff like that. Important. Okay, we need those things. But then you have this whole class of shit-talking idiots that doesn't know anything about anything. They've never been successful in their entire life. They're broke. They're stupid. But they're just smart enough to think that they're smart. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And then they run their mouths and flap their mouths on Twitter and become influencers or, write articles, right? Like some guy's never heard of crypto before in his life, but then he buys a coin and now he's, qualified to start writing articles.
I think let's see. Yeah, I'm back on. He hit it on the dot. DeFi Gardner, appreciate the stream, by the way. Everyone smash the likes. Thank you, brother. And yeah, I think, and I appreciate your opinion and everyone's opinion, because it's good to have these conversations, because when I'm like super bearish and everyone's like throwing rocks at me, and then somebody has I don't want to say so much negative. I don't look at this comment as negative. I look at his comment as like important facts, right? About the sex listings, about the bridges. And now we know people in the comments were like, hey, there's multiple bridges. And then now we know that, hey, there's a possibility with the sex listings more than there was before, because the SEC actually got beat in court. So we'll see if that happens down the road. But yeah, you know, an influencer, including myself, you got to do your research, guys. You got to do your research, and don't allow people to navigate your decisions, right? Or to get you too overpumped, get you too excited for something that is not going to be anything but just a pump and dump or Ponzi scheme, because that's all over crypto. Crypto is I guess you could say, a big Ponzi across the board. And so is the stock market. So is any type of trading environment, because you need winners. In order to get your winners, you need losers. So losers will make winners, right? You buy low, they buy high. They buy your bags for a premium. So you need losers to have winners. And you need new money for your money and your bags to pump. So everything needs new money. And the only thing that makes it a difference between it being not looked at as a security or not it being a Ponzi is that legal stamp, right? Where legally they go in and say you're legit. You know, they say you're not a Ponzi, because the way that we work here in America, the way that the system operates, it seems like one big Ponzi scheme, right? To generate money for governments to go to war, really. You know, you get your paycheck on a Friday, maybe it's crypto, maybe it's in US dollar. You get taxed. We'll say your check is supposed to be $1,000. After taxes, you get a $750 check. Then you go and you buy groceries for you and your family. You purchase this food that you need, necessities, toilet paper, whatever it may be. Then you pay tax on that. So now you've had tax money that's been earned and taxed. Then you go to spend it, and that gets taxed on top of it, right? And let's say you've worked your way to have a home. You pay a mortgage on with that money that you've earned. And then you have to pay property tax on that property that you own every single month, that's due monthly or by the end of the year. And every time you spend, you pay in a tax. Tax. HOA fees, you know, tax penalties if you don't have insurance. And then insurance is too much money. Inflation is not keeping up with wages. So it's designed for you to just barely make it, or have to live off the system, or you're doing well because you've thought outside the box. You become your own boss. You've escaped the system. It was not like designed for everybody to win. And that's crypto. That's investing. The rich get richer in Wall Street, and they are taking over the space. But if we hand it to them in a silver platter, right, and accept CeFi and keep exploring it and leverage trading, putting our money in there, then we defeated the entire purpose of what Satoshi's vision was peer-to-peer transactions. Richard Hart is a prime example of somebody that's trying to fight for the greater good, to utilize DeFi and cut off the middleman, right? To cut off the middleman. Oh, Science! What up, Martin Town? Salute paper hands, paper gains. I think soon we will live in a world where there are freeze function stablecoins and blockchain rollbacks and freezes, base ARP SUI. PulseChain will have lots more demand. Bro, you just made a very good, compelling argument that I didn't even think of. And by the way, thank you, brother, for the super chat. You already know we got to hit him with the crowd. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Hit him with the crowd. And you know what? This is something I never even said on camera, or may not even thought in full of what Bartertown just put together in words on a live stream. And he's absolutely right, because crypto is going to be, and we've already seen freezes with stable tokens, but blockchain rollbacks, freezes, which we've seen, Base, ARB, SUI, that puts DeFi and true DeFi like PulseChain in high demand. Think about it. Everything that they want to control will be controlled. And Base is not only a good, easy onboarding ramp for new users from Coinbase, but it's an easy place to put people in the system where they can control and freeze your money, roll back, and do whatever they want, right? So you're being, bootstrapped, from DeFi to go into CeFi, when you're in DeFi to go there, to go on Base, to go on SUI, to go on ARB, and then they're bootstrapping people from just the real world of just using, fiat currencies into crypto, but into CeFi, which people think it's DeFi. And at the end of the day, right, if we don't have our escape route and that option like a PulseChain, then where do we go? Well, we do have a place to go, and that's PulseChain. That's where demand will be. So yeah, that's the future. And you have a great point there. I can't believe that comment came through, because yeah, we're losing touch with reality in crypto where we want to be. And shout out to Bartertown Conglomerate and the DeFi warlords out there. Right? The real DeFi warlords. I know we had somebody come through that was trying to take the name. I was joking with him too. I was like, hey, bro, somebody trying to fork your entire community on the DeFi warlords. So Bartertown Conglomerate, follow him on YouTube, Telegram channel, and all that, and be part of the true DeFi warlords. It's been here since, I think, that group's been here at least, we're talking, when I knew about it, 2017, 2018, 2019, in between there. I'm losing my dates, I'm getting old, but they've been around the block for going on 7+ years. They didn't just get put together in a Telegram group. The real DeFi warlords, home of the DeFi warlords, Bartertown, shout out to you. But that's alpha right there, bro. That's mega alpha. That's where the demand will be when that time comes. And it's already happening in real time. Again, all this is happening in real time. Okay. And there's a lot of aspects of DeFi that we're going to see that we think is actually, DeFi and other chains, that's going to be stripped from you little by little. And you're going to find out okay, this isn't what it's supposed to be. Why are my funds frozen? Why can't I access this? So don't learn the hard way. Don't learn the hard way. Bro forked the community so he could scam. Yeah, dude. He forked the DeFi warlords group, bro. You gotta have seen it coming. I had this conversation with Bartertown months ago when this happened, and I was just like, "Oh, bro, now I see how it's moving." I'm like, I don't know about all that forking a whole group. We knew right away it wasn't going to head in the right direction where it was going. That's crypto, man. That's crypto. People do that, and I think it was because your DeFi warlords have always been known for, going into different chains and different opportunities. And now they're heavy over on Sonic, and they're all over the place. Right. So they've been known to just be, just scouring just going all over the place, trying to find opportunity. And they've become an entire community of people where Bartertown's out there, weeding out all the bad stuff, upped his game, people he knows. He knows the guy that knows a guy, or he knows the guy that is the guy that's going to, tell you whether this is good and, audited and make sure the smart contracts are safe. So he's made a very good environment for his people, right? And that name has been big out there in DeFi. So a matter of time before somebody did something like that and came up pretty quick too. Not shocked, but when it happened, it was like, what is going on here? From that dude, what the would have never thought. But yeah, back to the lecture at hand, man. I'm like totally moved by that comment right here. I got it's got a stake right there, right? I think soon we will live in a world where there are freeze functions, stable coins and blockchain rollbacks freezes. PulseChain will have lots of demand. Yeah. And you know what? Richard Hart gave you a place to call home when that starts to happen. It's already happening right now. It's been happening right in front of our faces, right before our very eyes. And it's going to be a different world soon. I just think that the more control they get their hands on, it's going to spread. And that could be the continuous reason why it doesn't end up on sexes, right? Because they're all affiliated with each other. CZ spent a few months in the pen, right? You don't think he came out? You think he came out the same person? No, he's in the pockets. He's in the pockets. He's got people in his pockets, right? He is now compromised. Truly. You know, you don't get out of prison in that short amount of time for the stuff he was going down under for, and your chain is perfectly intact, didn't get harmed. You know, it was like no harm, no foul type of deal, and come out, you know, truly a DeFi. I would call him a DeFi warlord. You don't come out a DeFi warlord out of the pita like that. He is working for the man. He will push the narrative and continue to gatekeep. You know, because they own CoinMarketCap.com, right? CZ and all them dudes, Binance. They've always, for whatever reason, never properly listed Hex. They'll put a fart coin in there. They'll put a Pepe meme, frog memes, dog memes, you name it. But Hex, trustless yield, true DeFi, flawless operation for 5 years. It has been gate kept like that. That's a true sign of they don't want Richard to win or anything to do with real DeFi to win. They don't. It's been proven. That's what the gatekeeping is from. And I think people in the real world have been gate kept and actually eliminated. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, right? They were trying to create a free and open world for just a certain race of people to have the rights of the others, to even share the same bathrooms, be in the same room. And these people were murdered and killed trying to make these movements and the changes that we see today happen. They were gate kept. They were eliminated, right? Even you go as far back as JFK. So people that try to create good for the world, and when good goes versus evil, sometimes they don't make it out. And those voices will no longer be heard if you're just too loud, right? And being too loud is a good thing when it's for change. And these people sacrifice their lives for change. So don't think that that's any different in crypto, right? When you have a man that's fighting for the greater good, you can call him a scammer, you can say this and that. But we did the live stream the other day, right? We talked about the many different things he saved people from by pointing out that there were scams, they were going to collapse from the Alice Mashensky, FTX, Mt. Gox. The list goes on, okay? But he gets attacked by the SEC. He gets on an Interpol list. He is being called a scammer. Like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Like, now the most bought character in the entire industry right now, right, has to be Vitalik. Now, we all owe him a big thank you for smart contracts and giving us a platform to build on for layer 2s and layer 1s. But ain't nobody bugging that dude. He's paid somebody. Nobody bugging him. The foundation can dump. He can dump. I mean, I don't know where the flow of money is going and whose pocket, but he is paying the right people because that guy created all of this when it comes to truly being able to create DeFi and you even have a space like PulseChain was because of, being able to branch off of his ideas and what he built. Nobody bugs him. Nobody bugs him, right? He doesn't have, no one ever talks about Vitalik getting locked up. No one even talks about anything bad. And I'm sure he's got his demons and his skeletons, but I think he's played the cards right. Something going on there, man. Tell me I'm losing my mind because I don't know why Vitalik has just always been able to be just wandering free, man. The only thing you got of Vitalik out there is that picture when he's with the Chinese girl and she's like this, and he looks like he's got a loaf of bread in his pants. I'm like, by gosh, man, that's the only thing that's going around about him, and it's laughable, right? It's memeable. It's been meme. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys. All of you that dropped the super chats. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Don't forget to pound the like button. Drop a comment. Until next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, on to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG Prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fixes ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off PulseChain, but I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild DeFi game.